A hollow guest. The cabin was too quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, where you hear the wind whispering through pines or the distant hoot of an owl. This was a suffocating silence, the kind that presses against your eardrums, daring you to make a sound. Jim Nichols had rented the place for a weekend escape, a chance to clear his head after the divorce. The listing promised seclusion, but this felt like abandonment. He sat by the fireplace, its weak flames doing little to warm the room. His phone had no signal, the Wi-Fi was non-existent, and the only book in the cabin, a tattered Bible, had pages missing. The clock on the mantel ticked unevenly, like it was limping. 11:47 p.m. He'd go to bed soon, he told himself. But the thought of climbing the creaky stairs to the loft made his stomach twist. A knock at the door. Jim froze. The sound was sharp, deliberate. 3 slow raps, each one echoing in the hollow space. He waited, heart pounding, hoping it was a branch or his imagination. But then it came again. Knock, knock, knock. Heavier this time, like knuckles wrapped in bone. "Who's there?" His voice cracked, barely audible. No answer. The silence returned, thicker now, as if the air itself was holding its breath. He crept to the door, his socks silent on the cold wood floor. The peephole was fogged over. Useless. He pressed his ear against the door instead, listening. Nothing. Not a rustle. Not a breath. He turned the deadbolt, his hands trembling, and cracked the door open. The porch was empty. Moonlight spilled across the frost-covered ground, illuminating the forest beyond. No footprints, no tracks, just an unbroken sheet of white. He shut the door, locked it, and backed away, his eyes darting to the windows. All locked. He checked them twice. The fire flickered, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch too far. Jim grabbed the poker, its iron cold in his grip, and sat back down, facing the door. He wouldn't sleep tonight. He couldn't. Another knock. This time from the back door. His breath caught. The back door was across the cabin, hidden behind the kitchenette. He hadn't even thought to check it again. Clutching the poker, he moved toward the sound, his bare feet sticking to the floorboards. The air grew colder as he approached, his breath visible in faint puffs. Knock, knock, slower now, almost mocking. He reached the back door and yanked it open, poker raised. Nothing, just the same empty porch, the same untouched snow. But the forest felt closer somehow. The trees leaning in, their branches like skeletal fingers clawing at the sky. He slammed the door shut, his chest tight, and leaned against it. Then he heard it, a whisper, not from outside, but inside, behind him, low, guttural, like wet leaves dragged across stone. Jim. He spun around, the poker slipping from his hand and clattering to the floor. The cabin was empty. A fire was out, though he hadn't touched it. The clock had stopped, its hands frozen at 11:47. The whisper came again, closer now, from the corner where the shadows were thickest. Jim. His legs buckled, and he sank to the floor, eyes locked on the darkness. Something moved there, a shape, too tall, too thin, its edges blurring into the shadows. It didn't step forward. It slid, like oil spreading across water. Its face, or where a face should have been, was a hollow void, a gaping absence that seemed to pull the light from the room. "You invited me," it said, its voice a chorus of whispers, each one slightly out of sync. You opened the door. Jim's scream lodged in his throat. He scrambled backward, his hands slipping on the floor. But the thing was already closer, its form stretching, bending, filling the room. The air tasted of rust and damp earth. He clawed at the front door, fumbling with the deadbolt, but it wouldn't turn. The whispers grew louder, overlapping, a cacophony of his name. The last thing he saw was the hollow where its face should have been, tilting toward him, endless and hungry. In the morning, the cabin was silent again. The fire was cold. The clock still stopped. The doors were locked. The snow untouched. Jin was gone. But in the corner, where the shadows lingered, something waited. For the next guest. For the next door to open.